consistency signals competence, even when competence isn't really there. Now, you might have mixed feelings about this statement, but this is the truth. Maybe an uncomfortable truth, maybe an unfair truth, but the truth, especially in our digital age. Consistency signals competence, even when competence isn't really there. Why am I talking about this? Well, as someone who has been writing and creating content consistently for 6 years and sharing content and his writing daily, and has achieved some objective form of success, because I have across platforms over 200,000 people in my audience. As a result of that, I know certain things and I'm fed up with two types of people. First is people like myself who have amassed a following, who have a large audience, and who speak of the online world as this meritocracy, where it's all about the quality, of your work and nothing else matters. And the quality will just rise to the top eventually. Because those people want, by saying that to you, by giving that largely false advice, they want to actually give compliments to themselves. So they're giving fake advice not to help you, those of you who are creatives or aspiring educators, or just have interests, hobbies, providing services, or having products that you want to offer, and you think you need to build online following. Those people who have achieved some form of success are giving you advice not to help you, but to boost their own ego, to say it's only the quality of what I've been doing that has allowed me to amass this following or this audience. I'm fed up with those people, and I'm fed up with people who have something to say, who are passionate about something, who are interested in something, who have a genuinely helpful product or service to offer, or just want to start and try expressing themselves. Those people who think that they can just appear online once in a while and that someone will recognize them, and then another person will recognize them by them appearing once in a while, and magically they will suddenly have this large audience, and then their work will be justified, and then they will start showing up consistently. Or maybe part of their fantasy is to never start showing up consistently. Now, it wouldn't be the best use of my time or your time for me to engage in sort of a beef with all of these other creators, maybe even educators, but let's use the broad term creators, all of these other somewhat successful creators or immensely successful creators who are lying to you and who are saying, oh, it's all about the quality. If now I just engage and use this video as a rant against them or engaging in beef with them, I'm not really helping you. I will just say, when they're telling you something, consider what does it mean for them? What does it do for them? Because if someone tells you, oh, it's all about the quality, and we just look at the state of the online world, where a Jake Paul can have hundreds of millions of people watching him, and a university professor who has uploaded hundreds of hours of lectures on YouTube has 5,000 subscribers, 7,000 subscribers. In that ecosystem, you have someone telling you it's all about the quality and the value, and if you're providing value and quality, eventually you will just rise to the top. Insane notion. But just let's point out, they are saying so because they are boosting their own egos in that way. They're basically tapping themselves on the back. Yeah, this is not luck, this is not me putting myself out there consistently, spoiler alert, it's not that. It's not that I just became familiar to people, even maybe more than I was valuable to people. It's not that. It's just the quality. It's just the quality of what I've been doing. So, again, those people most of the time are very disingenuous. I'm not, to be honest, I'm not sure what the proper form of that word is. They're not honest. Let's use the simpler word. They're not honest with you. But now let's focus on those of you who are not consistent, and as we said, you are passionate about something, there are things that you want to talk about and consider important talking about. You have interests that you want to share with others. And somewhere you are hoping to do something with it. Or you have offer some kind of service, product that is genuinely helpful. I'm not a business coach. I will not be telling you what to do with your product, how to market it. But all of these types of people that I just now listed, having interest, passion, genuinely thinking there is a topic that needs discussing, offer, service, product, those people know on some level that they need greater exposure or that they want greater exposure, depending on what stage of their journey they're at. Because let's say someone with a product or a service that they believe in, they genuinely need to reach more people. Someone who has a passion, someone who has an interest, maybe they don't truly need to reach more people yet, but they want. And then we could argue if they truly believe in the importance of what they want to talk about or share, then they need to reach more people because more people should be influenced by them. All of those people. I'm now speaking to you in an honest manner. As honest as you will get from someone who has over 200,000 people following them across platforms. I will tell you now that it's not rare that I read an Instagram comment, and now I'm gaining traction on YouTube, so I'm sure the same things will start appearing. But let's say because I've been on Instagram for 6 years and my posts have that nature because they're written posts and they attract people who engage in deep, meaningful discussion. So it's not, just a bunch of comments, nice, and thumbs up and fire emoji. It's actually sometimes paragraph-long comments on Instagram, which is wild. I'm immensely blessed. Well, it's not rare that I receive a comment and I think, ooh, this person wrote this comment better than I wrote the post. I'm jealous of how clearly they're expressing themselves. Or that I think, this person is onto something and I would love to read more of what this person is thinking about. It's not rare. And then maybe I check that person's account. And if it's not on private, maybe I see that they have posted or attempted posting on Instagram. But you know what I see most often? If that's the case that they have attempted posting, that they posted 3 times in the last 6 months or 5 months, or they have posted 10 times in the last 2 months, still not enough. Consistency signals competence. Consistency signals competence. You will not do anything. You will not do anything if you think that you can just, in this ocean of content, where billions with B, billions of pieces of content are created daily, you want to appear once a week, twice a week, to talk about what you care about. Who is going to care about it with you? Who is going to care about it with you? If your voice, imagine a wave consisting of infinite drops of water that forms a wave of content consisting of infinite pieces of content on a weekly basis. And in that wave, 2 or 3 drops are your voice. You want to give yourself those chances to be heard and to be seen. Those are the chances that you are deciding to give to yourself. And then there is someone else who knows less than you, is less passionate than you, is less competent than you, but he or she is putting themselves so much out there that people who find about them or who find out about them start seeing them more often and more often and more often and more. And then after a month, they're familiar with this person, they're recognizing this person, and when they're thinking about a certain topic, they think of that person. They don't think about you about you that they never saw in their life, or that maybe they saw you once. And I remember when I was just starting my journey. So I started December 2019 to write consistently. And in mid-2020, I had around 2,000 followers. I never went super viral. My growth was gradual with a couple of spikes in these 6 years. In any case, 6-7 months into my journey, I had 1,000, 2,000 followers, and there was one guy who would drop these massive comments under my posts, and specifically under posts where I would cite and quote philosophers. And it was clear that his knowledge of philosophy was so well built, not built on quotes, not rushed by just reading one book. It was or 3 books that are kind of the most accessible. It was clear that this was someone who was building his knowledge of philosophy from the fundamentals and stacking layers of knowledge in almost an academic order, or maybe in academic order. However, this person, apart from that knowledge, was able to condense his thinking to drop a massive comment, but still Instagram comment is limited, to drop massive knowledge, massive insight into my comment section. And 6-7 months into my journey, starting to receive consistent comments from this guy, I was a bit intimidated. And to be honest, I was a bit insecure and jealous. Let's put all of those things out there. Intimidated, insecure, and jealous. Intimidated not in the sense that he was attacking me, but intimidated by the fact that this was a person who had immense knowledge of philosophy. At that point, I was reading and studying philosophy 3-4 hours per day, so I was really confident in my determination, but this person was way ahead of me. Also, the way that he was expressing himself was light years ahead of me. English is my second language. When I started in 2019, I had really no prior experience of discussing the topics that we are discussing here and that I was discussing at that time, discussing them, expressing myself on those topics in English language. I had no experience in it, and it definitely was a struggle and point of insecurity. This person, the way that he was expressing himself, the amount of knowledge, all of it was overwhelming. And I was, as I said, a bit jealous, or maybe a lot jealous. And I started realizing, okay, this person, because I'm posting every single day, and often multiple times per day, this person is coming to my page and dropping massive wisdom and insight in my comment section. What a fool. With all due respect, but what a fool. Why do that in my comment section? Why don't you do that for yourself? Why don't you build something for yourself with all of that knowledge and competence? Then I checked out his profile and I realized, well, he was trying. However, he was inconsistent. Couple of posts in a row in a couple of days, then taking a couple of weeks off, then another post, couple of days off, another post, then again couple of consistent days, then 5 days of no posting, and overall completely inconsistent posting schedule. I mean, there is no schedule, just completely inconsistent posting. And I thought, well, yeah, it's easier to casually scroll, and then when you come across someone else's post that reminds you of knowledge that you have, you drop a comment. And imagine his intellectual capacity, where he would randomly come across my posts and then he would be able on the spot, I'm assuming he didn't block out time in his day to write comments for my posts, because then he would have been able to block out the time of the day to create content for himself. I'm assuming that he would come across my post, and on the spot he would write a massive in length and extremely impressive in knowledge comment. Well, he was doing that spontaneously. I'm again assuming, but it makes sense to assume that he was doing it as part of his scrolling. But it takes different level of commitment, discipline, consistency, agency, being self-motivated to do that for yourself, to sit with yourself, to see what you want to talk about, and then to talk about things that you care about daily, and sometimes multiple times per day, and to do it over the course of years. Well, that person was in 2020 in a position where I was confident that if that person would just consistently expose himself and his thinking and his writing, if he would consistently expose himself, he would impress many people and help many people. He remained. I have no idea how to find him. And I don't remember the name, to be honest. But he was on my radar for a couple of months, and then I realized this will remain. This person will remain just another personal account who occasionally drops some wisdom, but is not going to make big moves, to put it that way, in the online space. Somewhat of a long story to describe something simple, but for me, to be honest with you, and to say I'm well aware there are people out there with immense potential, and it's not the capacity, it's not the ideas, it's consistency. It's consistency. And I mean, ideas are part of consistency. You need to consistently brainstorm. You need to consistently prepare ideas that you are going to write about or talk about, or I don't know, maybe paint, draw, whatever. But the thing is, you have to make peace with the fact that there are people out there less competent than you that will get the attention that you think you deserve. And then, let me backtrack. You don't have to make peace with that fact. You need to stand face to face with that fact. You need to be confronted. This video is an attempt at doing so. You need to be confronted with the fact that people less competent than you in your sphere of interest, less passionate than you in your sphere of interest, maybe less genuine than you, maybe way more selfish than you. Those people are going to get the attention that you think you deserve. Why? Because they are consistent. They are exposing themselves and becoming recognized as the person who is talking about this, the person who is inspiring in this way, the person who is reminding me of this, the person who is showing me this. They are getting reminded, they are getting remembered, and they are getting recognized. And if you stay in your fantasy of self-pity, that I'm too profound to be doing something every day, then I guess stay in the fantasy of self-pity. I don't know if that is the land that you want to remain in the fantasy land of I'm too profound for this world. I sometimes see a meme of imagine Kurt Cobain posting consistently to promote something like that. Imagine Kurt Cobain posting consistently to promote his albums. And the meme is supposed to say how we live in a messed up time where artists have to play the social media game to promote their art. And I think, yeah, it's true. it is sick and twisted and sad in some way, or in a lot of ways. It's true. I will be the first to say it. I think it is sad that a brilliant musician nowadays has to push hard on the social media game. I think it is kind of sad. And then, what's the next step after that conclusion? Again, is it self-pity or is it action? That's the question that remains. Whatever, again, your passion, interest, competence, expertise is, let's give you that. Let's give you, yeah, you are right. It is sad. It is frustrating. It is messed up that we live in an age where you have to consistently produce to be noticed and recognized. It is sad, messed up, frustrating. Then resign or push forward. And by pushing forward, I don't mean brute force. We talked about, in previous videos, we talked about skillful use of the will. My consistency for 6 years isn't a result of brute forcing. When I say push forward, I mean the attitude of pushing forward through the uncomfortable realization that this is the game now, the game of volume, the game of showing yourself as much as you can. I mean, showing yourself for your work as much as you can. Those are two options that you have. Go back, resign, pity yourself, or maybe you have two options within the resignation. In the resignation, you can pity yourself and curse the online world, or you can resign and forget about all of this, forget about you wanting to share some of your interest, passion, expertise. Forget about that and just go on with your life. So you have two options within the option of resigning. Or if you want to push forward, well, you better start building up your capacity to be able to put yourself and your work out there daily. So you see, I didn't say now start sharing daily, even though that would be the ideal case scenario. But because we are not assuming that you will be able to fall into the ideal case scenario, then we say you better start building your capacity to put yourself or your work out there every single day, because consistency will signal competence even when competence isn't there. And we are seeing that all over the internet, while on the other side, people who have competence, like those that I see in my comments, because they are not consistent, no one knows about their competence, or no one gives a shit, pardon my language, about their competence other than themselves and maybe a couple of their friends. It's, as I said at the beginning, uncomfortable truth, maybe an unfair truth, but it's the truth of the age that we are living in, and we can argue that it's always been the truth that consistency signals competence, but now this truth has reached some interesting, to say the least, proportions in terms of what consistency can lead to. Again, my objective success, even though I urge people to not think that likes, followers, shares, that's success, but I cannot deny the immense privilege of having over 200,000 people in my audience across platforms. I'm aware that consistency has been the number one factor in that. And for me here to say, oh no, there is this trick how to unlock your intuition or passion, or here is this framework to create highest quality content, and that is going to lead to growth. No, all the tricks, whether they are quasi-spiritual tricks or practical frameworks, all those things that promise growth without consistency are simply jokes. Consistency signals competence even when competence isn't there, friends. And I want to say I beg you, but I will not beg you, because you should not be begged. No one is that important. And you should not feel that you're too important, just like I never felt that I'm important, and I don't allow anyone to make me feel important. So I will not beg you. That would be too much. I will implore you. Is that the right word? As you see, I'm still learning and expanding my vocabulary. I think the word implore is the right one to use, but if not, it's okay. I ask you, I encourage you and challenge you. Encourage you and challenge you at the same way. At the same time, sorry. Encourage you and challenge you at the same time to start building the capacity to consistently share your interest, passion, or expertise, because that's the only way you will get recognized. That's the only way other people will know that you do have competence and that you do deserve their attention. That's it, friends. Thank you.